Ugh, there's almost nothing more frustrating, right? Your washing machine is full of water, it's beeping at you, and it's flashing some cryptic code. Well, don't worry. We're going to walk through exactly how to solve this super common error step by step. So, yeah, if that OE on the display is staring you down and you've got a tub full of soapy water that's going nowhere, you are in exactly the right place. We are going to get this thing sorted out right now. Okay, first things first. Take a deep breath. Don't panic. Seriously. This is one of the most common errors a washing machine can throw at you. And the best part? It's almost always something you can fix yourself. No need for an expensive repair call. So what does OE even mean? Well, it's pretty simple. It's the machine's way of yelling, "Hey, I have a drain problem." Basically, the little computer inside tried to empty the tub, it waited for about 10 minutes, and when the water level didn't go down, it threw up this error to stop everything before a bigger mess happens. All right, let's just cut right to the chase and get to the most likely solution. I like to call this the 5-minute fix because, honestly, for the vast majority of people, this is where you're going to find and solve the entire problem. And I am not exaggerating here. A staggering 95% of the time, that OE error is caused by one simple, single thing that you can check and clean out in just a couple of minutes. So let's start right there. But before we touch a single thing, and this part is absolutely non-negotiable, unplug the washer from the wall outlet. Water and electricity are not friends. Also, go grab a shallow pan and a fuel towels. Trust me on this one, you'll be really glad you have them in a minute. Okay, the secret is this little guy, the drain pump filter. First, look for a small rectangular door on the very bottom front corner of your washer. Pop that open. Now, get your pan and towels ready right underneath it, because when you start to slowly unscrew that big round cap, water is going to start coming out. Just let it all drain into the pan. Once it stops, pull the filter all the way out and see what kind of treasures you've collected. We're talking coins, hair, lint, you name it. Clean all that gunk out, then just screw the cap back on and make sure it's nice and hand tight. Now hold on, before you screw that cap back on, here's a really quick and powerful little test you can do. Stick your finger inside the hole where the filter was. You should be able to feel a small plastic fan-like part in there. That's the pump impeller. Just give it a little flick with your finger. So what you're hoping for is that it spins nice and freely with no resistance. If it does, that is a great sign. But if it's completely stuck and won't move, or if it feels all gritty and hard to turn, well, bingo, you have absolutely found the problem. Something is physically jamming up the pump. Now, what if you cleaned out the filter, the little impeller inside spun just fine, but you're still getting the error? Don't worry. The next logical place to look is just outside the machine at the plumbing. You're going to have to gently slide the washer away from the wall for this. First, just take a look at that big gray drain hose. Is it sharply bent or kinked up behind the machine? That alone can stop the water flow. If it looks okay, go ahead and pull it out of the pipe in the wall and check inside the end of the hose for any clogs. It's also a good idea to peek down that wall pipe with a flashlight, just to make sure it's clear. And here is a pro tip that catches so many people out. If you shove that drain hose way too far down into the wall pipe, it can actually create a weird siphon effect that confuses the machine's sensors. The rule of thumb is no more than 6 inches deep into the pipe. Just making that one simple adjustment can fix these kinds of drain problems for good. Okay, so you've done the easy stuff. The filter's spotless, the hoses are clear, but the problem is still there. Now it's time to get a little more advanced. We're going to play detective and let the machine itself tell us what's wrong by listening for clues. So go ahead and plug the washer back into the wall. Now find a drain and spin cycle on the dial, or whatever the closest thing is on your model, and hit start. Then you're going to want to get down low, close to that bottom panel where the filter lives, and just listen. Listen really, really carefully. The sound it makes, or maybe the sound it doesn't make, is a huge clue. So what are you listening for? Well, if you hear a distinct humming sound, but you see no water moving, that means the pump is getting power, but it's physically jammed. If all you hear is a faint click and then nothing, that's probably the control board trying to send power to a pump motor that's failed. And if you hear absolute silence, well, the pump is likely dead or it's not getting any power at all. Now, if your sound diagnosis is pointing you towards a bad pump, we can confirm it with one final test. But first, and you know the drill by now, safety is everything. Unplug that machine from the wall again before you even think about touching any wires. Okay, if you happen to have a multimeter, set it to ohms. That's the little horseshoe-shaped symbol. You'll need to disconnect the 2 wires that go to the pump motor, and then touch your multimeter probes to the 2 metal terminals on the pump itself. A healthy working pump will give you a reading somewhere between 10 and 200 ohms. If your meter reads OL for open line or shows infinite resistance, well, that's the nail in the coffin. The motor inside that pump is efficiently burned out and needs to be replaced. So, after going through all these steps, you should have a very, very clear picture of what's actually wrong with your machine. Now, it's just time to make the call on what to do next. And here is the best part. If you figured out that the pump itself is the culprit, this is not an expensive fix. A brand new drain pump is usually somewhere in the ballpark of $50 to $120. This is a super common and pretty affordable DIY repair that can literally save you hundreds compared to a service call. So if you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. No matter what, when you see that OE error, always start with the filter. It's the easiest, it's the fastest, and it is by far the most likely solution. And now you know exactly how to fix it.